Good morning, students. Today we'll start chapter 2, that is a biological classification. Classification history. The earliest classification was done by Aristotle. He used simple morphological characters to classify plants into trees, shrubs, and herbs. He also divided animals into two groups, those who possessed red blood and those who did not. Classification history. Carl Linné classified living world into two kingdoms, Plantae and Animalia. This system was used till very recently. This system does not distinguish between eukaryotic and prokaryotic, unicellular and multicellular organisms, and photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic organisms. Five kingdom system of classification. R.H. Whitaker in the year 1969 proposed a five-kingdom classification system. The kingdoms defined by him were named Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. The main criteria for classification used by him include cell structure, thallus organization, mode of nutrition, reproduction, and phylogenetic relationships. All prokaryotic organisms were grouped together under kingdom Monera, and the unicellular eukaryotic organisms were placed in kingdom Protista. Kingdom Protista has brought together Chlamydomonas, Chlorella, earlier placed in algae within plants and both having cell wall, with Paramecium and Amoeba, which were earlier placed in the animal kingdom, which lack cell wall. It has put together organisms which in earlier classification were placed in different kingdoms. Living world divided into five group: Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. Kingdom Monera. Bacteria mainly comprises of the kingdom Monera. They are the most abundant microorganisms. They live in extreme habitats such as hot springs, deserts, snow, and deep oceans. Many of them live in or on other organisms as parasites. Bacteria are grouped under four categories based on their shape: the spherical coccus, the rod-shaped bacillus, the comma-shaped vibrio, and the spiral spirillum. Some of the bacteria are autotrophic, that is, they synthesize their own food from inorganic substrates. They may be photosynthetic autotrophic or chemosynthetic autotrophic. The vast majority of bacteria are heterotrophic, that is, they do not synthesize their own food but depend on other organisms or on dead organic matter for food. Monera divided into two parts: Archaebacteria and Eubacteria. Archaebacteria are the ancient bacteria, and Eubacteria, that is the true bacteria. Archaebacteria, these bacteria live in the most harsh habitats such as extreme salty areas, that is halophiles, hot springs, thermoacidophiles, and marshy areas, methanogens. Archaebacteria differ from other bacteria in having a different cell wall structure, and this feature is responsible for their survival in extreme conditions. Methanogens are present in the gut of several ruminant animals such as cows and buffaloes, and they are responsible for production of methanogens, that is a biogas, from the dung of these animals. Eubacteria. There are thousands of different eubacteria or true bacteria. They are characterized by the presence of a rigid cell wall and, if motile, a flagellum. Some of these organisms can fix atmospheric nitrogen in a specialized cells called heterocysts. Nostoc and Anabaena are the example. They play a great role in recycling nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, and sulfur. Heterotrophic bacteria are the most abundant in nature. The majority are important decomposers. Many of them have a significant impact on human affairs. They are helpful in making curd from milk, production of antibiotics, fixing nitrogen and legume roots, etc. Some are pathogens causing damage to human beings, crops, farm animals, and pets. Chlorella, cholera, typhoid, tetanus, citrus canker are well-known diseases caused by different bacteria. Bacteria growth mainly by fission. Sometimes under unfavorable conditions, they produce spores. They are also reproduced by a sort of sexual reproduction by adopting a primitive type of DNA transfer from one bacterium to the other. Dividing bacterium. The mycoplasma are the organisms that completely lack a cell wall. They are the smallest living cells known and can survive without oxygen. Many mycoplasma are pathogenic in animals and plants. For example, PP yellow, that is the smallest organism, that is pleuropneumonia-like organism, PP yellow. Kingdom Protista. All single-cell eukaryotes are placed under Protista. Members of Protista are primarily aquatic. This kingdom forms a link with the others dealing with plants, animals and fungi. Being eukaryotes, the Protistan cell body contains a well-defined nucleus and the other membrane-bounded organelles. Protists reproduce asexually and sexually by a process involving cell fusion and zygote formation. Protista divided into 5 groups: chrysophytes, dinoflagellates, protozoans, slime molds, and euglenoids. Chrysophytes. This group includes diatoms and golden algae, that is desmides. They are found in fresh water as well as in marine environments. They are microscopic and float passively in water current, that is a plankton. Most of it are photosynthetic. Dinoflagellates. These organisms are mostly marine and photosynthetic. They appear yellow, green, brown, blue or red depending on the main pigments present in their cells. The cell wall has stiff cellulose plates on the outer surface. Most of them have 2 flagella. Very often red dinoflagellates undergo such rapid multiplication that they make the sea appears red, that is the red tides. Toxins released by such large numbers may even kill other marine animals such as fishes. Euglenoids. Euglenoids are freshwater organisms found in stagnant water. Instead of a cell wall, they have a protein-rich layer called pellicle, which makes their body flexible. Though they are photosynthetic in presence of sunlight, when deprived of sunlight, they behave like heterotrophs by predating on the other smaller organisms. Interestingly, the pigments of euglenoids are identical to those present in higher plants. For example, Euglena. Euglena is the animal which is autotroph. Slime molds. Slime molds are a saprophytic protist. The body moves along decaying twigs and leaves, engulfing organic material, for example, Plasmodium. Protozoans. All protozoans are heterotrophs and live as predators or parasites. They are believed to be primitive relative of animals. There are 4 major groups of protozoans. Types of protozoans. Amoeboid protozoans. These organisms live in freshwater, seawater or moist soil. They move and capture their prey by putting out pseudopodia, that is a false feet, as in amoeba. Some of them, such as entamoeba, are parasites. Flagellated protozoans. The members of this group are either free-living or parasitic. They have flagella. The parasitic forms cause disease such as sleeping sickness, for example, trypanosoma. Types of protozoans. Ciliated protozoans. These are aquatic, actively moving organisms. Because of the presence of thousands of cilia, they have a cavity that opens to the outside of the cell surface, for example, paramecium. Sporozoans. This includes diverse organisms that have an infectious spore-like stage in their life cycle. The most notorious is Plasmodium, that is a malarial parasite, which causes malaria, which has a staggering effect on human population.